Hey everyone, my name is Terry Miner, and this is how I became a children's book illustrator. I didn't write anything down. I know a lot of these videos that we watch on YouTube seem to flow so smoothly because people are writing stuff down, but this time I decided, I said this time like I wrote something down before, which I haven't, but let's just get to it. So I didn't write anything down. I didn't think about it too hard. I just wanted to come off fresh, like just fresh off the top, and just tell the truth. My actual story from the start to where we are today. So I'm trying to make this too long, but here it is. So this is how I became a children's book illustrator. So, long story short, just to get straight to it, um, I was doing commissions and drawing, and it wasn't nothing serious. Just little drawings here and there. Maybe it's a friend, or maybe it's someone who streams on Twitch and they want an illustration, and so I'm having fun. I'm having like lots of fun with that. It's fun, right? I mean, obviously it's fun to get paid to draw, which is cool, but I mean it was very rare. It was like maybe once a year or less, and off and on drawing for 6 years. So I was drawing off and on for 6 years, and I was, pun intended, I always felt drawn to draw, right? Like I would watch animation movies, and like Wreck It Ralph or the B movie or Ratatouille or Flushed Away. That's me throwing out some of the greatest animation movies right there for you, or Big Hero 6 or whatever. But I was always drawn to the animation and the art, and I didn't even try to like go sketch those characters or draw them, but it was just always, such a big inspiration and always intrigued me. And that's just a few movies to name. Maybe I'll do another video where I'm talking about my favorite animation movies. But anyways, so this is how I became a children's book illustrator. So as you can tell, see, I didn't write this down. But anyways, so long story short, I was off and on with illustrating and drawing for 6 years. And the reason why it was off and on was not because I didn't enjoy it, not because I didn't like it, not because I didn't love what I was doing, even if I was doodling, sketching, or working hard to get better. It just wasn't clicking. You see, that's the thing that has to happen for us to actually get to a place where we start having motion and moving forward, right? It has to click. And so what do I mean by that? Excuse me, I'm holding my burp. What do I mean by that? Like, so I would do some anime drawings or some cartoon drawings or draw some of my favorite cartoon characters from the 90s, right? I'm giving away my age right now. I just recently turned 37, at the time of this video. So that's what's up. But anyways, it never clicked. But it didn't, I was always drawn to draw, but what I was drawing wasn't pulling me to draw those things every single day. And this is how you know when it clicks. That thing, that specific niche, that specific style, whatever it is, it will call you. It will draw you to draw it day in, day out. You won't be able to stop thinking about it. And this is how I became into children's book. This is how I came into drawing children's books. So long story short, I was at my church and we had a conference going on, and there was a couple who used to go to that same church, used to work at that same church, and they relocated to another state. Well, they came back in town for the conference, and we're all in the lobby area, and we're just hanging out, talking, eating refreshments, catching up, the whole nine. Well, somehow while talking, we got on the subject about how I like to doodle and draw when I was in elementary school. So this is one of the wildest parts about this story. I was in elementary school, and almost every time I'm getting work and papers, low key I was bored, but I was, like I'll get my work and papers passed to my desk from the teacher. I will always flip the paper over and draw and doodle on the back. And I would do cartoon characters or DJ turntables, which is something else because I DJ today all the time. And so I would doodle and just draw on my work. And I was more intrigued and inspired to draw, sketch, and doodle on my work and whatnot. But that's a whole other story. But long story short, that got brought up in the conversation with the woman that I was talking about. Well, it was actually her and her husband about doodling on my schoolwork. Long story short, After she heard me talking about doodling on the back of my papers on my schoolwork while I was in elementary school, she then asked me a question. And the question was, will you illustrate my very first children's book? Now, you think, one would think, what anyone would think, how do you go from conversating about not illustrating, doodling on your schoolwork in like third and fourth grade to being an adult, and they hear that and say, can you illustrate my first children's book? So long story short, um I have never done anything like that before. I have never done anything like that before. I have never even touched that type of art style because it really is a whole separate style, proportions, the whole nine, that everything that goes into it. Everything has its own structure and basics, right? So literally, what happened was I stood there and I was a little reluctant at first, but the very next thing that happened was I had peace on the inside, and I knew it was from God because I've never touched that style. At that time, I wasn't. I'm sure I wasn't even drawing as much, but I had peace to tell her yes. And then so after I told them yes, I remember I got materials on how to draw. And what I mean by materials is I got some how to draw books from my local Barnes and Noble bookstore. I went online on YouTube, reading blogs and learning the basics. And this went on for 3.5 to 4 months straight. And I think I only missed 2 nights total. Like, this is no exaggeration. I missed about 2 nights total from 3.5 months to 4 months. And I was at my kitchen table with those books and sketchbooks, learning the basics on how to draw for up to 3 to 4 hours every single night straight. And I learned like everything comes from a shape, right? You have a circle or a sphere, a square or a cube or a cylinder or a rectangle or a cone, a triangle. Like, and then once I started getting in a rhythm, I learned, wait a second, drawing is just shapes. And then after you learn to see the shapes, you just use lines to connect one shape to the next part of the shape. And then you just, do your contours and details and work the shapes out with the lines. And so, well, what happened was, as I get into like page number 2 or 3 of sketching this book for her, the first project, something triggered, something completely just went off. And I knew in that moment that this is what I'm supposed to do. This is where I'm supposed to be in regards to all these amazing art styles, all these different types of paintings and drawings and sketches that you can spend all your time on. This is the thing that I'm supposed to put my focus and attention on. And so, long story short, I got so excited at that time. I think I had a iPad Pro 12.9 inch. I still do, still got it. I still draw on it to this day and sketch on it some. But I had a Wacom One. It was like I think it was the first Wacom One with the screen. It was really wide. So it was like narrow but really wide. So it was like a funny shape. But so I had that. And then I went on YouTube because I said, well, I want to step it up a notch, because as much as I was intrigued and inspired and really wanted to like just get after it, I said, what I need to do is I want to see what are professionals using. I'm telling you, like, this is on me all day, every day, like the art style. Can't get enough looking at it. And I'll tell you what it is. I fell in love with the textures, right? And then I learned children's book illustrations. Everything is about texture. Um, and character, like the clothes having character, buildings having character, even the object having character and texture. And then I learned, okay, well, how do I get this texture? Then I learned, okay, well, in children's books, to achieve texture, the brushes that you use are pastels, hard or soft pastel brushes, charcoals, chalks, and crayon brushes. So those are the brushes that you actually are, like, when you hold a children's book, that's the brushes that were used most of the time. And so I'm learning, like, these basics, and then I saw, okay, I need to learn what are the professionals using. So I looked up PBS, Cartoon Network, Netflix Animation Studios, Pixar Animation Studios, DreamWorks, Nickelodeon, like whoever is out there and anything has ever been animated or drawn, what are they using? And then so what I would do was I would go onto YouTube, and then after I would go into YouTube, there would be like someone giving a tour of Pixar Animation Studios or somewhere, and I would see the camera turn just enough to where you could see like these big black TV screens. Well, I learned it wasn't a TV screen. Those are called drawing tablets, and I would pause it at just enough point where I could see a name, like a brand, and then I was like, oh, that's Wacom, which is WACOM. And then so I would look in, and then I would check that off. Okay, so they're using Wacom, but I have this very extreme entry level, cheaper Wacom, and then I said, okay, well, what software are they using? Then I saw the industry standard. So this is like the very start of how it literally came into being, of how I became a children's book illustrator, right? And then so I found that, oh, okay, they're all using Adobe Photoshop to draw, right? And it's all freehand drawing. Like right here, you see, like this is like one of those drawing pens right here. I know you can see there. I don't know how, if it focuses or what, but this is like the drawing pen right here. The top has an eraser. And this is the part right here on the tip that you obviously hit the point where you draw with, and it has a few buttons on it, and you can like set those buttons to do whatever you want, like undo, redo, color pick, or whatever. And here's the drawing tablet that I ended up getting was a Wacom Cintiq 16-inch, which has been working perfect for me. And a lot of people I follow online and became friends with on Instagram who are illustrating right now for Nickelodeon and other major studios and some animation films use the same exact size. So a Wacom Cintiq 16, and that's what I have as a Wacom Cintiq 16-inch. And I have a MacBook Pro that I use with it. But long story short, because you have to have it connected to a computer for those that don't know. But anyway, so I'm just learning, and I'm like, okay, what are the pros using? Because on the inside, as it began to really click, I wanted everything to come up a level, and I'm just taking it serious. And I knew, I said, okay, well, this is obviously something that I need to give more attention to because it's keeping me up at night. I can't stop thinking about drawing. I can't stop thinking about art. Now, mind you, this is the first project, right? I'll go ahead and throw a quick testimony out there. I'm on book number 6.5 right now. But long story short, with these projects, especially, let's go back to the first one. With the first project, I saw, like, obviously, okay, what I want to do, where I want to be, and then learn, okay, now what are the steps that I need to be able to get there, right? And then so you get to that point where, okay, you have to just say yes, especially when you know deep down this is something that I want to do, and realize you don't need permission. You can just start right now, get the books, get a sketchbook, get the materials, and follow it. Like I got one book that's titled How to Draw What You See. And it takes you from every single medium, but it starts at the basics, right? Like everything comes from a shape. Everything comes from a shape. Then now draw a microwave in perspective. Draw this, or draw it at eye level, or draw a TV at below eye level or above eye level. Like, so for those who know what I'm talking about, you're right where I'm at, right? And for those that don't know, go search it. Like, what is drawing at eye level, above eye level, or below eye level? Like all these things, right? And so because you're coming from, you're hearing someone who's coming from a place of, obviously went through grade school, but I didn't really pay attention because I was bored, but I still passed everything and graduated all the stuff, but I had nothing that I could really go back to in regards to art. So I knew, okay, get the materials, get the resources. It's time to grow. It's time to learn, because for some reason you can't shake it. You can't stop drawing. You can't stop thinking about drawing. And it's literally like, making you feel alive when you sit and draw and work on these projects. So I'm going one page after the next. I'm sitting there like, how am I doing this? And I'll look at the page and it's like, how? And it's like, and this is the thing. You can't compare yourself to anyone else. I'll just say it. That's one of the dumbest things that we can do. It's so easy to do that, especially with social media and being able to quickly see anybody's post and work, but you can't. You will kill your growth. You will stunt your growth if you compare yourself to somebody else. So while I'm sitting here like, how in the world did I do that? and you compare it to somebody else's, it looks like, what the heck are you doing? They're doing it right. You're doing it wrong. But that doesn't matter. This is my growth. It's my growth. And I'm seeing like, wow, like what is happening? That's what's important. That's how you get to the next place and the next level and the next level. Why? Because I'm not letting other people's art and how I see it discourage me. I'm not letting other people's progress make me feel bad about I'm where I'm just starting even to begin with. It's like it would be totally unfair for you as an artist and for me as an artist to literally look at somebody else day 10,200 and compare it to my day 10. Right? Like that is weird. So like don't do that. Don't judge yourself or your work based on somebody who has 15 years in the game and you only have 1 week or 1 month, right? Or even 2 months. It's like that's not even realistic. That's not fair. And so what happened was, as I started progressing, I said, let me go back and look at what I'm doing now versus what I did when I started in the first few months, even the first year. There was a major difference. When you put them side by side, it's like a huge before and after, and it is crazy. And I was like, so what was basically the before side, I'm sitting here drooling over it, dreaming, looking at it, envisioning, okay, I'm going to draw this next. I'm going to work on that and put that in my portfolio, or I'm going to pitch this piece, whatever it is. And then you look at the after, it's like, wow. But then you see something. When you see stuff like that, what will you see? You won't make it to that next area of your growth if you let your inspiration and your drive be watered down or killed or drained out because you are upset when you see someone else look like they're on pro level, right? That's not fair. Come on, we got to be realistic. So anyways, back to the other. So okay, that's my dog Bellamy. He's a great Pyrenees. He's huge. He keeps barking outside. He literally all of a sudden came right to this window. So someone must be right by the mailbox on that side, or a mailman, whatever. Anyways, so long story short, I know I keep saying that, but it's going to end up being a little longer. Anyway, so all is well. But yeah, so I remember when I started taking it serious and I learned what are they using. You know, I sowed seed, I saved money, I did all the things, and then after that, I got more than enough to be able to get everything I needed. I got Adobe Photoshop. I got my Wacom Cintiq. I got all the things, and I don't argue and debate about which software is the best or whatever for whatever reason, because I also literally have every single software. I have them all. Like there's probably only 1 or 2 that exist that I don't have, and they are not even really in the discussion of softwares. People are debating and talking about softwares. I have them all, used them all, and I've done pay commissions and worked through them all. So I don't have nothing against any of them. I like it just for the sake of learning new features and different softwares and watching the reviews and tutorials and just having fun learning and growing in that space. So I have them all. Affinity, all the affinities, Photoshop, Krita, Clip Studio Paint, like you name it, Procreate, you name it, Adobe Fresco, you name it. So it's not difficult to get your hands on software. There's amazing software that's out there for free, even to start with your digital art. But so long story short, as why do I keep saying long story short? I told you I'm not even, and watch this, I'm not even going to edit this part out, right? This is me, and if you made it this far, shout out to you for rocking with me. So, but anyways, I got the drawing tablet, and I got the stuff that was I saw personally, to me, what was professional. And then after that, I just kept putting in the work, kept growing. And then we get to the part where we finally released the book, you know, about like a year later. And on day number 2, it went number 1 on Amazon. And that book is on your screen. Where? Right here. So that book will be on the screen right up here. And on day number 2, it went number 1 on Amazon in a certain category. And all I remember doing was hitting the refresh button just over and over. I was just hitting the refresh button like, what? Are you kidding me? And so, but yeah, so this is like how it took place. Like this was the start of something that I didn't know was going to be on my radar, right? Like I had no clue that this was going to actually come about one day. Like I'm like get to the point where I'm at my house in my home office clocking in Monday through Friday and on a lot of Saturdays from at least 6 to 9 hours a day illustrating for clients going on year number 3 every single weekday. That just blows my mind still to this day. And I know it's the goodness of God. I'm literally just sitting here like how like I had all those moments to where it's like how in the world because like God knows things that we can do even when we don't even believe in ourselves or know that we can do it. All we got to do is just say yes. If we say yes, we will literally go where we need to go, do what we're supposed to do what we're supposed to be doing, meet the right people that we're supposed to meet, that brings us to the place that gives us life. It gives us satisfaction. It gives us fulfillment. And that's what happens when you do say yes. What if I said no and I was just, thinking I had all these excuses. I didn't go to school for art, all these things, right? And then you get to the point where as you keep growing, your portfolio grows, and then you get inquiries almost weekly for going on a year and a half. And so when that happens, what is that saying? I know my sister said it, one of my clients said it, and another new client that I just had a Zoom meeting on very recently, just days ago, said it. They all three said it. That's how you know you are aligned, that you are aligned. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing and when you're supposed to be doing it. So that's crucial. It's when you're supposed to be doing it also. So that's literally how I got into that space. And I told myself that I'm going to do this video and I'm going to be able to get through it without getting too emotional. And the reason being is because this first project literally is the reason why I'm right here illustrating and drawing every single day for 6 to 10 hours a day, getting paid to do it. It's paying bills, it's paying rent, it's paying on rent. It's like so much has shifted. But the reason why I told myself I'm not going to get emotional to do this video is because the lady that I told yes to illustrate that book, she very recently passed away. And so that completely rocked me, because through that project, it's like it wasn't just another client. It's not just another book just to get a payment. It's like that person became family. And through a project, you have to talk a lot. So the relationship that's built through a project, when you are critiquing and going back and forth, or you're sharing creative ideas and you're growing and saying, "Ooh, I want to try this. Ooh, let's try that. Oh, let's do this. Oh, let's," like when all that is happening and you're just saying like, "Hey, I just want to make sure that, I'm honoring her and what she wants." And then she realized maybe I'm not speaking up enough because I love this part, but may not like this as much. It's like, like we're growing as people and growing as we work together through this project. It created a whole lot of inside jokes. Like it was there's so much goodness that took place. And so, but it's that book. It's called When I Grow Up, I Want to Be Just Like Jesus. And that was the first project. And so now I'm doing other projects. We have projects coming out soon about a girl who has magical braids in her hair, from an author from the UK. That book, by the time you see this video, that book may already be released, or it's coming out any day now. That's where that stage is with that specific book. We have another book about a kid and he loves his toy tractor. We have another book about a kid who's a prankster. Like we got so many projects that are being worked on, right? I have one book that's 50 plus pages, children's book. It's like a informational yet humorous type of children's book, and it's raising awareness about a specific thing that affects a lot of people and a lot of kids. But you'll hear more about that at some point soon in the near future. But this is just a glimpse into my world and to how I actually got to that place where I literally became a children's book illustrator. So if you liked the video, if you made it this far with me rambling back and forth and getting off topic and coming back on topic, first off, I apologize. But if you rock with me this far, I appreciate it. Be sure to smash that like button. Leave a comment on my video so I even know you watched it and know who watched it, and I'll make sure I comment back. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to help me out. And there will be more videos like this coming soon. Remember, never give up. Peace.